Hello and welcome back to 30 Days to Learn Photoshop. This is day 22, Smart Objects. My name is Ben Gribbin, and in today's lesson we're going to consider what smart objects are and how they are used into Photoshop. So let's go ahead and switch over to Photoshop. And we're going to demo what a smart object is first and how they are used, because they are quite impressive. So this here just appears like a window which has a smart object, a sticker applied to it. That's fine, pretty bog standard stuff. This was purchased from graphicriver.net, and we've got reflection, we've got a logo layer, and we've got a background layer. So those three elements combined are pretty basic stuff. So let's go ahead and look at what this is and how smart objects are used. So this is a logo layer, which you'll notice, as opposed to a normal layer such as this one or this one, it's got a kind of little funny icon down there in the corner, and if you hover over that, it shows you what's contained in what's called a smart object thumbnail. So that shows you what's within a smart object. So this layer here we know is a smart object. And essentially what smart objects are kind of templates or holders that are a link to an original source file, but then the source file is edited here. So the source file remains the same, and this one is edited. We can add effects, all kinds of stuff, but the original remains unchanged. It's simply linked or called out and referenced in this file. So in order to change our logo file, we would double click on here, and we get a little bit of a spiel about returning back and all kinds of stuff. We'll talk about that as we do it. Press OK. This creates or links us to the original file, which has a logo file within there. So we can change this. We have the current logo layer, which we're going to remove. We're going to put in some text, which is going to be our pretend logo. Let's type logo, set it to a nicer font, something like that. Just drag it into place, and let's put it to white because the original one was white. So we'll go window, character panel, set it to white. We've been tweaking with the workspace, so let's do that. We can change the weight and the italics if we want, and we're going to press save on this .psb file. When we go back to our original file, then you can see it's actually loaded in the file here, but it's applied some styling and perspective to it. So that is in essence what a smart object is. We're going to return back to this using another object into this one. So smart objects are ways of calling out a file, linking to essentially what are templates really, including a template in your file and linking to an original design. But also then we're able to perform non-destructive transformations on the smart object itself, such as this one here. We can click on it, we can resize it, we could change the color, we could reverse it, we can do all sorts of stuff. Let's just reverse it and show you. So if we reverse this file like so, looks a bit odd, but the original file always remains the same. If we change the color, so we put a different color over the top of this, like so, original file still the same. So it's just a way of being able to non-destructively transform layers and retain the original one. It also helps us work with data from vectors, so we can import and use Illustrator files within Photoshop. We can apply non-destructive filtering to elements. We could blur this out and still not have any real issues with the original document. So let's show you how we would import a file from Illustrator. If you do use Illustrator a lot, you'll know how to grab hold of all this kind of stuff and how to work it. But in general, we're just going to do a big selection on that logo there. We're going to drag this into Photoshop, into the document window, and let go. And this is going to automatically create a smart object for us, which is very handy. And we can initially resize it, place it within our document like so. So let's just hit return onto there, and as you can see over on the right, this is actually now called Vector Smart Object. If we double click on it, press OK, it will return us to the original Illustrator file, or a temporary one that was created when we dragged it over. And here we can change the actual text itself, we can change the colours. So we can go ahead, change the colours of this logo file, put it all to white. Same here, change it to white, just so that we're able to see it better. Then if we save this, like so, just pressing Command and Save, we're not doing Save As or anything like that. When we return back to Illustrator at Photoshop, we've got a now updated image, so it's all white, just the changes that we've made to it. We could also put this into our other smart object here by dragging it up here, dropping it in like so, and deleting this one, deleting that layer like so, and having this in there, saving it and returning to our smart object. And this time you see we've got our file there, but if we edit undo, it will revert to original settings of the smart object, so that's something that you want to bear in mind. And if we open it again from this state, it will actually open the original smart object, so that's something that you'll want to bear in mind. In order to edit a actual pixel level version of this, you need to rasterize it. So if you wanted to paint over the top of this, you wouldn't be able to, because the layer is a smart object, and it, just like shapes, you're going to have to paint over. Here you can see we're doing an erase on the object, painting it in. So that's how that works. Now in order to create one from another file, very easy, just go to File and open a smart object, and then find the file you want to use as a smart object. In this case we'll use this one, and you can see there we've got a smart object in this layer. You could then drag that over to other documents, so it's all entirely cross compatible. That would drop that into this file here as a smart layer, and again you can do it over here. Just keep going. There's intercompatibility, and they are very, very easy to use in order to create some really cool dramatic effects and templates. So what have we learned in today's lesson? Well, we've looked at how to make smart objects, we've done a demo of a working smart object file, and we've considered why smart objects are used. So your task for this lesson is to place a PSD file in a smart object, like we've just shown you. Go to File, Open as Smart Object, and then add this to a new document. So create a new document, put your viewing mode to 2 columns, and drag the layer over onto the other document. Next time on 30 Days to Learn Photoshop, we'll be looking at the transform controls. Thanks for listening.